Good morning, Unity of Medina. This is the fifth Sunday in July, and I can tell that because instead of sitting in the back of the church, I'm up front. This is finishing up our month of service, and what I'd like to do to start the service today is to read a litany of service. And this actually came from a packet that the Unitarian Universalists put together to celebrate their month of service, and we'll hear a little bit more about that later. So I'd like to read this litany of service. Let my living be in service to love. Let my living be in service to those I love. Let my living be in service to the one who calls me neighbor. Let my living be in service to the common good. Let my living be in service to all breathing species. Let my living be in service to all growing species. Let my living be in service to the singular and particular. Let my living be in service to the ground of being. Let my living be in service to the purity of air. Let my living be in service to the waters, great and small. Let my living be in service to the stardust that has become earth. Let my living be in service to the solar system and the galaxy. Let my living be in service to all I see and hear and taste and smell. Let my living be in service to the gravity that connects. Let my living be in service to the waters great and small. Let my living be in service to justice. Let my living be in service to compassion. Let my living be in service to the web of creation. Let my living be a blessing in service to the blessed. Angie will now lead us in our congregational song.
Growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present is what I'm made of. I choose love. We are part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present is what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love.
Thank you, Angie. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You're always welcome to Unity of Medina. Here at Unity, we affirm our core values of integrity, joy, acceptance, love, and spiritual growth. July is the power of understanding. Linda will light the gold candle now. As she's lighting the candle, let us affirm together our affirmation for the month for the power of understanding. My understanding of truth deepens and directs my life. Today's daily word is wonder. Wow. I like that. That's the same look on my face when I wake up every morning and realize I'm still alive. I wonder how that happened. I view my life through the eyes of wonder. I feel inspired watching a young child discovering new things, eyes wide with awe and wonder. Even the smallest experiences, feeling the tickle of a butterfly on the skin or blowing the seeds of a dandelion, are a marvel and joy. I think of this when disappointing life experiences chip away at my sense of awe and appreciation. Today I let go of disillusionment and open my heart and my eyes to once again live in wonder. As I view life anew, I renew my belief in the goodness of life and of all people. I open myself to the unexpected treasures happening all around me each day. Wonder is a precious gift, one I use to appreciate the marvels unfolding before me. Today's passage is taken from Acts 3:10. They are filled with wonder and amazement at what had happened to him.
As we enter into meditation, I would invite you to sit comfortably and breathe comfortably with your feet on the floor. Visualize energetic roots from your feet into the earth as far as is comfortable, perhaps like a pine tree spreading out near the surface or deep to the center of the earth. Visualize the energy from the heavens entering the top of your head. And feel those two energetic streams, one from the earth and one from the heavens, mixing and mingling within your body. Breathe love into and out of your heart. Let the love permeate your body, moving through every cell. Each time you breathe, the energies are empowering every cell in your body. Let my living be in service to love. And how shall I serve? I can serve with and through the gift of my senses. Take a moment to inventory your gifts, talents, and passions. Can I see others in need? Can I touch those who need support? Can I use my hands to perform tasks offered with love? Can I give a hug when needed? Can I speak words of comfort, encouragement, or motivation to those who seek such support? Can I raise my voice in joyful noise? Can I truly listen to those who need to be heard? Can I creatively share gifts of scent, perhaps coffee and flowers, or go deeper into the metaphysical sense of smell, which is the ability to perceive, to receive from the less obvious, and then move that perception into action? Everyone has gifts to share, and everyone has passions for motivation. Take a few moments now to acknowledge and be grateful for yours. Let my living be in service to love. Take a breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Gently wiggle your hands and slowly come back to this time and place as Angie continues to gift us with her music. always hard to start a talk when you have to follow up that music and you just want to sit there and drift with it. But I will. But I unfortunately will have to stop Angie and start talking. After 4 weeks of talking about service, I hope I can bring a little something extra this week. You know, that's the problem with being the fifth Sunday speaker is like, okay, what do I talk about now that everybody hasn't heard about yet? So if this is a review, I'm sorry. If you get something new, even a little kernel, I'll be happy. Do any of you remember Mr. Peabody and Sherman? Yeah. Mr. Peabody was a highly intelligent anthropomorphic dog who lives in New York City in a penthouse with his adopted human son, Sherman. And Peabody teaches Sherman about history by using the Wayback to travel into the past. Now, I don't know about you, but I always figured that was a W-A-Y-B-A-C-K machine. But looking at it online, I stand corrected. And this is all in capital letters, W-A-B-A-C machine. So this was kind of interesting. I've always loved this, and I thought, well, since we're heading back into school year and we all have a history, I would invite you to think back to the time of your own childhood when you had preparations for a new school year. I used to love back to school because to me there was nothing better than a fresh notebook, new pens, and unsharpened pencils that still had that sense, a little scent of tree in them. Once a nerd, always a nerd. It also meant a new school year with new challenges and activities. And one of those activities for me was scouting. I loved being a Brownie and a Girl Scout. And indeed, I even have my old badge sash and probably my beanie stuck in a box in the basement somewhere. Now, I didn't save those, but my mother did, and they came back to me as inheritance. So I still have them. As I tend to find inspiration for my talks in unusual places, this Sunday's inspiration came from my old Girl Scout manual, copyright 1955. It's changed a little over the years. Let me read the Girl Scout promise to you. And perhaps if you had a Scout pledge, and I know the Boy Scouts in here had one that was very similar, feel free to join me. And you get extra credit if you use the Girl Scout hand signal. Does anybody remember this? Yeah. On my honor, I will try to do my duty to God and my country, to help other people at all times, and to obey the Girl Scout laws. Thank you. Boy Scouts, you're kind of included in there. To help other people at all times. You know, from the time a girl is in Daisies and Brownies, which is the little girl's version of Girl Scouts, she is taught the importance of helping others. The Brownie Handbook today even states that your faith and the Girl Scout laws probably have something in common. I found that kind of interesting that in a secular organization, we see reference to religion and spirituality. The importance of service or giving is ingrained in us in humans. That is why it is embodied in the Scout laws. The call to service started for millions of us early in church or school. It was what one did when serving God and country. It was and still is a form of good citizenship. After all, John F. Kennedy asked us to ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And we honor those called to military service, those who currently serve, those who have served, and those that gave their life serving their country. Military service is often the first thing that comes to mind when somebody mentions the word service. Like Ann Lepp, who mentioned a couple weeks ago, I too donned a candy striper pinafore. I worked in the gift shop at Parma Hospital during my early teen years, and I may have even used that service as part of a Girl Scout badge requirement. But service is more than just protecting the country. One of the things I loved about my studies at the Spiritual Science Center was our guidelines. And our 8th guideline says that soul unfoldment is the purpose of life, and fraternal service is the way of life. It was something I resonated with. But at NSSC, I was realizing that service was more than just something that was a human thing to do. Service was also a spiritual practice. In John 13, verses 12 through 17, we see Jesus providing a humble service. So when he had washed their feet, taken his garments, and sat down again, he said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so it is. If then your Lord and teacher have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. Most assuredly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is he who is sent greater than he who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them." Well, I haven't washed anyone's feet lately, but as a massage therapist, and I know there's a couple of you out there too, I've massaged them. And I often thought of that passage when I got down to somebody's feet. And let me tell you, there are few feet that are a joy to touch. I can think of one client in 20 plus years of massage therapy that I would put in that category of someone having good feet. And it was a male dentist, of all people. But Jesus wasn't limiting a life of service to washing feet, and we can be glad about that. But he was very specific in telling us about service. He told us that whatever we do to the least of us, we do to him. And when we feed the hungry or help the sick and the weak, we serve the divine. When asked about helping our neighbors, Jesus gave us the example of the Good Samaritan. Jesus told the rich young ruler that the way to heaven was to sell his possessions and give them to the poor. His was a gospel of compassion and generosity, with no wiggle room to avoid service. I think the words of Rabindranath Tagore provided a clue as to the why of service. Tagore, unknown to me until I found his quote, was a Bengali poet, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and painter. He was also a clue on Jeopardy on Friday. Sounds like someone who might actually provide gravitas to his words. Tagore said, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy." Unity minister Reverend Felicia Searcy says, "The sole purpose of our existence is simply to be happy, and we will never know true joy until we freely share our gifts, our time, and ourselves." We find ourselves serving, she says, not to get something in return, but because we recognize that giving is the essence of who we are. So we experience the joy that comes with it. And if you take a moment, I'm sure you can all remember a time you felt that joy. Like that little picture of the baby, perhaps it was a gift that brought a squeal of joy from a young child. Or that potluck donation that everybody expects you to bring. Or perhaps it's the bird feeder in your backyard that you keep clean and filled. To serve, it's helpful to know your gifts. Do you know yours? Can you identify your gifts without feeling like you're bragging? Service doesn't need to be big and expensive. It doesn't need to be driven by headlines of wars or climate disasters. It doesn't need to be time-consuming. It can be all these things, but it's also the little things. It's not always about the time we spend, but about the dedication and the love in which we do what we do that ultimately makes the difference. Service comes from the heart. Service comes with positive intentions. Service is utilizing your talents and your passions. Service may be more than a way of life. Service may be life. My go-to book for guidance, quotes, and ceremonial passages has been Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. It was gifted to me on May 20th, 1969, and the inscription says, in part, that it was given in the hope that in the years ahead it might bring me a little peace. For the past 54 years, it has been doing that. What a service from the giver. I know you have heard me quote Gibran before, and here he comes again. When asked to speak on giving, he said, "There are those who give little of the much which they have, and they give it for recognition, and their hidden desire makes their gifts unwholesome. And there are those who have little and give it all. These are the believers in life and the bounty of life, and their coffer is never empty." You often say, "I would give, but only to the deserving." The trees in the orchard say, "Not so, nor the flocks in the pasture." And there's the water. They give that they may live, for to withhold is to perish. Surely he who is worthy to receive his days and his nights is worthy of all else from you. And he who has derived to drink from the ocean of life deserves to fill his cup from your little stream. And what desert greater shall there be than that which lies in the courage and the confidence, nay, the charity of giving? See first that you yourself deserve to be a giver, an instrument of giving. For in truth, it is life that gives unto life, while you, who deem yourself a giver, are but a witness. And you receivers, and you are all receivers, assume no weight of gratitude, lest you lay a yoke upon yourself and upon him who gives. Rather rise together with the giver on his gifts as on wings, for to be over-mindful of your debt is to doubt his generosity, who has the free-hearted earth for mother and God for father. There is so much to unpack in that brief passage. Gibran suggests that intent is necessary to give. If you are serving for recognition, your gift is unwholesome. We know that intent is the basis of all manifestation. We must serve with love and positive intent. We trust the bounty of the universe and know that our coffers are never empty. This is a basic tenet of tithing, a special form of service, but is also a basic metaphysical law. If we think in terms of need, it's need we create. Thoughts are things. Giving in and with joy begets joy. Calling us out on giving only to the deserving is so pertinent in life today. How many times do we see comments online about certain people who don't deserve assistance? How often do we see letters to advice columnists about gifts given and not acknowledged or used in the way that the giver had intended? When we gift with pure intent, we gift and release. Do you want an energetic cord tied to your energetic body? Our intent, if it's not pure, if we condition our gift of service. Gibran reminds us that who has drunk from the ocean of life deserves to fill his cup from our little stream. He admonishes us to see first that we deserve to be a giver and an instrument of giving. Sandy Ibanez, in Topic Insights, describes what it means to live a life of service to others in a conscious and generous way. She has 3 pillars of service, which are commitment, behavior, and community. With commitment, it's commitment to yourself, with nature, with others, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Behavior is making our actions coherent, consistent, valuable, to leave meaningful footprints through them. And community. Where would we like the results of our efforts to be seen? Your community should help your individuality transcend, grow, and enhance your skills and possibilities for the good of the environment. Ibanez says, remember, we are a consequence of our own decisions. Our decisions to gain value and strength as we pass them through our skin. Nothing will ever change unless we make an effort to put the very best of ourselves into it. From the conviction that we are agents of change, we can take our acts of service to a larger scale contribution. Gibran finally reminds us that we are all givers, and it can be hard to receive. All receivers in addition to givers, and it can be hard to receive. To be over mindful of your debt is to doubt the giver's generosity. When we take our minds off the giver and the gift and turn them to ourselves, we often feel the need to reciprocate. This may rob the giver of the joy of giving. I've gotten better of that over the years, but I still struggle with receiving without feeling like there has to be an equal return. A simple thank you will suffice. It's a gentle reminder to think about the words and the energies we put behind them. During a short writing break while I was preparing this talk, I read a Facebook post that really struck me. And last Tuesday, I actually experienced it. Inspiration and confirmation? Yeah, I kind of think so. Here's what I read. People wonder why I give so many compliments to strangers. I am not being fake, and I'm certainly not looking for people to like me. So when I pass someone and notice something I like, I just say it. Love those shoes, great hair, or your eyes are beautiful. Why? Because life is hard, and this world can be downright shitty place. Some people are just mean. You never know how much a few kind words can impact someone. You never know what hell they may be going through. When you put positive vibes out into the universe, you, my friend, become a happier person. Just remember that giving random compliments may actually change your life. But more importantly, it will no doubt change someone else's as well. Simple, heartfelt service. And it must be true because it was on the internet. Our friends in the Unitarian Universalist Church, as I mentioned earlier, one called Unity no less, actually put a whole packet of information together for their month of service. It's called their Spiritual Service Practice Packet. And in addition to the litany that I read this morning earlier, I'd like to draw from some additional information in there. First, they note that service is not to be confused with do-goodism. I like that. Do-goodism is a form of self-righteous service in which we help those people, referring to those beneath us in need. True service ministers simply and faithfully because there is a need. Of all the classical spiritual disciplines, service is the most conducive to the growth of humility. And humility is one of the key ways we tame our ego in order to see ourselves as part of a much larger picture. Remember Jesus washing feet? The discipline of service is not about doing, but about being. It's not about serving per se, but about becoming a servant. When you are a servant, you surrender the right to decide whom and when you will serve. The packet includes a number of questions about service to ponder during the entire month. Well, we have today, and maybe tomorrow if you so choose. I would like to invite you to choose one question that resonates with you and contemplate it occasionally throughout the day. Consider it homework for the new year, if you will. So please feel free to close your eyes in brief contemplation as I read through some of the questions on service. What is your motivation for being of service? What is the relationship between service and spirituality? What are your gifts and passions that you can offer to others? Is there a difference between helping and service? If so, what is the difference? What is the relationship between service and charity? How do they feel different or the same? When you have been a recipient of service from others, how does that feel? How does it feel in some contexts versus others? Are there times when receiving a service is deeply uncomfortable, or when it is deeply pleasurable? Why might that be? There is much to contemplate in those questions, and I hope you'll give it a few minutes of time today, and perhaps tomorrow, as we come to the end of our month of service. I started this talk by referencing my spiritual science guideline calling for service. That was guideline number 8. I'd like to close with guideline number 1. Love is the foundation of all creation, the divine light that transcends all. As white light moves through a prism, it breaks into beautiful colors of the rainbow. Like a beam of color from the white light, perhaps service is nothing more than a derivative of love. And in the words of the Beatles, all you need is love. Thank you.
Shoot, now I wish I would have played that song. I picked a song that is actually called Grateful, that I thought could maybe couple with that, being grateful for those acts of service. Grateful for the little things, for one more day, for the bird that sings. Grateful for a hand to hold, little children's smiles, sunset beaming gold. And if I can't be with you, I'd be grateful too. Grateful for a window view, the sound of rain, a friend that's true. Grateful for the seasons change, the leaves that fall, the spring again. And if I can be with you, forgiveness gifted, a warm embrace, a sad soul lifted. And if I can be with you, I'd be grateful too. Grateful for a sunny day, a soft snowfall, and a change of pace. Grateful for a familiar face, kind-hearted laughter, a bit of grace. And if I can be with you, I'll be grateful too. And if I can be with you, I'd be grateful too. I'd be grateful too.
Thank you, Angie. That was beautiful. Linda, I want to thank you. It was a wonderful message and a reminder to all of us that the only thing we take with us when we leave this world is what we've given away. So I always have to remember that. I have some announcements for today. Today is the last day to donate to the project led by Linda Kadowski, a new underwear for homeless for men. Monetary donations are gratefully accepted. Margine will be happy to collect them at the end of the service. Karen will be able to give us a report on the success of the project in a few weeks. As we stated in our semi-annual congregational meeting last week, and as required by the bylaws, we are now asking individuals to recommit to their membership to Unity of Medina. We would like to confirm that our directory used to communicate with you is accurate and up to date. For this purpose, please see Carol Maggott in the children's room or Linda Ludwig at the front door before leaving the church today. The book study, Meeting Jesus for the First Time, led by Reverend Candace, will begin on Wednesday, September 6th at 6 p.m. and last 6 weeks. A sign-up sheet is located in the back of the church. A final count is needed by 27 August. The book will be at the front of the church for individuals to check out. Next week is Birthday Sunday. Please consider joining the birthday club founded by Fred Hatch years ago. This is a gratitude donation to Unity of Medina for $1 for each year blessed with life. Thank you for your generosity and attention to these requests. And now Linda will lead us in blessing one another and any guest here with us today.
Do we have anybody here for the first time? I don't think so. Okay, let's bless each other. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. Thank you for being here. Okay. And it's time for our offertory. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
And Mother, Father, God, we are truly grateful for the gift and the giver, for each of us are both. Donations of time, talent, and treasure offered in love for the benefit of Unity of Medina, our spiritual community. We are grateful for our board, which serves with integrity and talent and utilizes these gifts for the benefit of all. And for the prayers in the prayer box, we are grateful for those seeking prayer support, for with your trust, you give our prayer chaplains, Silent Unity, and Unity of Medina community the opportunity to serve you by holding you in prayer and love, knowing that divine order ensures the highest outcome for all of your petitions. And for our world, we are grateful for all creation. The challenges to our planet, people, and plant and animal kingdoms appear daunting. We affirm through prayer that love permeates those who can make a difference to ensure a life of abundance, peace, and wholeness for the planet and all people, animals, and plants who call her home. And so it is. And it's time for our circle or some semblance thereof.
Peace that was made.